All right, let me tell you about another book here as we are going along, and this one deserves a little bit of attention. Let's see, I'm always holding it. Where this is the really most famous book ever written about Gettysburg, Killer Angels by Michael Shara. And this was the book that a college professor gave me to read, and this is what really opened me up onto this battlefield. I don't know if I'd be here if I had not read this book. This just was fascinating to me, and it really kind of excited me, made me want to see this place, and it's done that for thousands and thousands of people. It's a great book. I love to tell people to read this who haven't. I love to recommend it, especially high school students, college students. However, the problem with this book is its basic thesis seems to be that war is an ennobling action and that it really causes people to rise to their highest moral, ethical, spiritual, physical levels. And I have never fought in a war, fortunately for me. But I have spoken to a lot of people, and that's really not the point of view anyone who fights in a war takes. The people I talk to tell me that they were pushed sometimes to do things they never would have done. They certainly saw things that they wish they had never seen. And people aren't ennobled by this kind of thing. They usually go the other direction, and they commit atrocities sometimes that they would never do in their so-called normal lives. The story is about two sides, and they're all honorable, and they just kind of have this little disagreement. And so you skip the ugliness of this battle. You skip the part when, you say that Robert E. Lee's telling everybody, well, I don't want to hurt these people. Be fair with them. Don't steal from them, even though he knows everybody's stealing from them. Even though he ignores it when a woman comes up and tries to talk to him about them stealing the hens. But really the ugliest scene out of this whole battle probably is in Harrisonburg. And even here in Gettysburg, when the Confederates are just sweeping up African Americans, any African American they find. And some of them are saying, look, I have my papers. I've been free my whole life. They don't care. And as Guelzo says in his book, if they cared, that would really go against the basic thrust of what they're fighting for. The Vice Presidency Stevens says this country is built on the proposition that the white and the Negro, as he puts it, are not equal. And a lot of people want to run away from that. Well, nobody disagreed when he made that speech. Nobody said, no, that's not what we're fighting about. No editorialist did it. Robert E. Lee didn't do it. Jefferson Davis didn't do it. Nobody said, no, this has nothing to do with slavery. This is taxes. Anyway, this book was not popular when it came out because we had the Vietnam War going on. Nobody wanted to hear this fanciful version of war as an ennobling experience. And so it kind of bombed. It won the Pulitzer. And he thought, wow, that's going to change my life. It didn't. People didn't want to buy this thing. So it wasn't until after he died that it really took off in the 80s. Same time, really, Reagan is president. Rambo is out there. All these stories re-describing. I really got to get my hair cut. Maybe I'll just get my wife to do it. It's looking bad. Re-describing these events in the way we wanted to see them. And then this book became popular. And like I say, I'm delighted it's popular. I'm delighted I read it. I still tell people that they should read it. But just read it with that caution in mind. That, this is a stepping stone towards you really understanding the battle, and it does that wonderfully. But at the same time, you've really got to question this basic tenet that he goes forward with. Bob Dylan wrote the song John Brown, where he sings about how different fighting is to the people who fight. And John Brown's mother wants him to fight, thinks it's a glorious thing, and John Brown gets his face blown away and so forth, and at the end he just drops these medals into his mother's hands and basically says, I hope you're happy. I don't think many people who actually fight in a war would agree with his perspective on its ennobling features.